What could be the question answered with people analytics? People analytics still struggles in convincing the business that they really deliver, that we're really delivering value-add answers to business questions, which means expanding general strategic questions on CXO level, expanding by the HR dimension. So if we are able to deliver examples where we answer today with the imperfect data we have, then we're able also to collect the data for that.
Florian, thanks so much for being here. What is your vision on the HRIT infrastructure and the analytics? Do you see an alignment?
When I started my career in finance and controlling, we developed the job profile for controllers. Controllers would be perfectly able to calculate plus, minus, dividing, do some quantitative, descriptive analytics, not close to what the data flow in IT system was reflecting. So around about 20 years later, we made a step, and now if you today hire a junior controller, he's really able end-to-end control data flows in IT systems. So when we talk about synchronization between HRIT strategy and people analytics, we mainly talk about skill sets of understanding, influencing data flows within the IT system. And in the job profile of the people that use this data, this is currently not reflected. So when I think about what the journey should turn on is exactly bringing HRIT teams together, not only the functional requirement side, but also the IT execution side, in addition with the people analytics leaders to really bring together the requirement and the output that is needed.
And I think that's very interesting because it wouldn't be the first company where I talk to someone and they say, yeah, we're building a dashboard. So should I build the dashboard of the available data, or should I find a way to collect that data that's actually business relevant and then collect it? And then in asking the questions, they answer it themselves in a way. But I think that's exactly the problem that you're describing.
People analytics data is always in a way imperfect, so you will never reach the status that you have a complete data set. My advice to peers who are asking, so how do you start your journey, is always take what you have. From a people analytics perspective, even if I just describe 1% correctly, it's better than describe nothing. And in that context, we're in a much better position to work with imperfect data and combine it with external data sets and get an answer that is close to the business question, but it must not be perfect, because on the other side, my view on people analytics data is that it supports the 40% that should be data-driven decision making, but still I have a clear view that 60% of a decision that we take every day is maintained by experience, by empathy, by external factors that we are out of control. And my job as a people analytics leader is just to secure the 40%.
Still, so how do we make sure that today we're already capturing the data that we will need in 2 or 3 years?
What could be the question answered with people analytics? People analytics still struggles in convincing the business that they really deliver, that we're really delivering value-add answers to business questions, which means expanding general strategic questions on CXO level, expanding by the HR dimension. So if we are able to deliver examples where we answer today with the imperfect data we have, then we're able also to collect the data for that. If I have these both on board, because I can tell them we secure this future strategy, then they're allowing us to collect the data.
One final question to challenge you a bit on this. I think one of the top priorities for any CEO lately has been leadership. Now then I talk to an HR person and I say, okay, how are you going to support leadership with your data? And then we all know there's not much data on leadership. So shouldn't that be something that we look at from a system perspective and say, hey, maybe that's where we need to start capturing data, because leadership is important, leadership will remain important?
What I'm really convinced about is that behavior and leadership output is mainly reflected in feedback. Feedback from customers, feedback from employees, feedback from peers, feedback from the market. So if you're able to collect relevant feedback data, you're able to measure leadership effectiveness. However, it works in details for the one organization you were in. But what I see is, yes, we ask our employees or customers or whomever, but first we don't bring it together. It's not connected to the strategy, and it's normally ad hoc driven. So we ask and we throw it away. So it's not so much that we could not collect the data or that we don't have an idea as people analytics people what data we need to give exactly answers to the business questions they have, but sometimes we're missing the tools and the allowance to do what is to do to realize the answers to these questions.